Hey guys! If you are new to this channel, I'm Mayan and I upload helpful real estate related videos. Just recently, a minimum 7 magnitude earthquake struck Abra, North Luzon. And with a moderately strong to strong intensity being felt in various parts of Metro Manila, of course, condo living evoked unsettling fears. Ang mga takot na ito ay maring nanggaling sa posibilidad na mag-collapse ang buong building, matagal makababa ng building, at iba pa. And whether you are someone who resides in a condo or not, most probably you want to know whether a condominium, especially a high-rise, is unsafe from an earthquake. The answer to this all depends on whether the condominium building is earthquake resilient or not. So it is first important to know when your condominium building was designed or constructed. Although the National Building Code or PD 1096 was enacted in 1977, it's implementing rules and regulations that takes into account the advent of high-rise structures among many others was passed in 2005. Dahil dyan, masasabi natin na yung mga condo na nag-a-apply ng building permit around July 7, 2005 onwards ay maayos ang design dahil kailangang sumunod sa mas strict na requirements bago sila makapagsimulang mag-construct. Example, kailangan lahat ng plans prepared and signed by duly licensed and registered professionals. Isa pang example ay kailangan na rin magpasa ng structural plans, structural analysis, design, etc. as part of the civil or structural requirements. By the way, all matters relative to structural design must conform to the provisions of the National Structural Code of the Philippines or NSCP. The NSCP is not a law, but it is a referral code that helps ensures homes and buildings will not sustain major structural damage when an earthquake strikes. Ibig sabihin, magkakaroon pa rin ng damage ang building sa malakas na lindol. Halimbawa, maaring mabasag yung bintana, magkaroon ng crack sa pader at iba pa, pero mababa ang probability na mag-collapse ang structure o resistant enough siya kaya may oras na maka-evacuate ang mga nakatira. Just for your added information, the seismic provisions of the NSCP have always been patterned from the Structural Engineers Association of California Code and the Uniform Building Code of the United States. The latest update of the NSCP was 2015, but the 2010 update already includes those. Given that if your building is near the fault line, I think your condominium building must be designed no earlier than 2010. If your building was constructed before the implementation of the National Building Code's IRR, there is a high probability that its design is based on an outdated standard. So I suggest that you raise in your condominium association's meeting the need for a structural engineer to check whether the building needs to be retrofitted or have a seismic isolator installed. Aside from the year constructed, an earthquake-resilient condominium must be built with great quality construction and good quality materials. Yun nga lang, kapag bibili ka ng condominium unit, hindi mo makikita kung anong materials ang ginamit sa paggawa ng building. Ang readily available lang na information ay materials na ginamit sa standard finish ng unit. So, what you ultimately bank on for the earthquake resiliency of the condominium is the reputation and reliability of the real estate developer. A reputable real estate developer, through the years of its experience, has the ability to plan a high-quality condo. It also has the financial capability to fund the project or has access to additional funding. Napaka-importante ng funding, lalo na kung high-rise ang condominium building. The taller the building is, the higher the construction costs. And one of the reasons why it is more costly is that it requires deeper foundation and more reinforcement to support the weight of the building. Additionally, it has the funding to ensure that buildings that are 40 to 70 story tall are designed using performance-based seismic design procedures in accordance with the most recent guidelines and standards. Kaya napupunan ang maaaring kakulangan ng National Structural Code of the Philippines. More funding also means being able to use an innovation to make a building more earthquake resistant. For instance, the Seasons Residences residential condominium project has state-of-the-art Japanese viscoelastic coupling damplers or VCDs. VCDs are embedded in the building structure at ang purpose niya ay mag-absorb ng vibrations mula sa earthquake o kahit mula sa malakas na hangin kapag may bagyo. So even if the duration of the earthquake is long, it won't suffer major structural damage. Occupants won't also feel uncomfortable that much from the earth's movements. Honestly speaking, an average Filipino won't be able to afford a condominium unit at the Seasons Residences. So, part of the consideration in choosing a condominium to live in or to invest in should be the builder and architect working with the real estate developer. Hindi man tayo sigurado kung na-enforce ng government ng maayos ang batas, panatag naman tayo sa mga kilalang construction company at architectural firm na mai-implement ng maayos ang design standards. Ayaw nila syempre masira yung reputation nila. Pwede pa sila maging liable kapag hindi nila inaayos ang trabaho nila. Well-known real estate developers usually work with top builders like Makati Development Corporation, DM Consuhi Inc., Megawide Construction, EI Corporation, and Datem Inc. Likewise, they also work with top architecture firms like Asia Design Partner, Idea Inc., Casas and Architects Inc., etc. Their expertise and accumulated experiences also help reduce the risk of deficiency in the construction process. So, major construction defects, design, material, and workmanship could be avoided. The final factor for a condominium to be safer from an earthquake is that it should be built outside the no-build zone. This ensures that the building will not be affected by ground fissures. Wala pa namang hinahayaang magtayo sa fault line, kaya sa labas ng no-build zone, nag-iiba na lang ang level of risk ng condominium depende sa distance mula sa epicenter at height ng building. When the earthquake is far from the epicenter, the movement of the ground is horizontal. A high-rise condominium building would sway more than a low-rise building or a house and lot. It is important to note that it may be a nerve-wracking experience, but a high-rise condominium is designed to be ductile. Ductility is the ability of a building to bend, sway, and deform without collapsing during an earthquake. Moreover, some high-rise buildings in the Philippines have seismic base isolation. On the other hand, when the epicenter is near, the ground moves vertically. Low-rise condominium buildings are more prone to shaking and are unsafe because it is brittle. Overall, an earthquake is one of the greatest natural threat since no one or no machine has yet to reliably predict when an earthquake will happen, its strength, and how long it will last. However, a condominium building can be safe from an earthquake. Maring mas safe pa sa house and lot dahil marami kasi sa house and lot ay pinapatayo ng walang proper consultation sa structural engineer o architect upang makatipid. May mga contractor pa na kapag hindi nababantayan, pinapalitan ng substandard material kaya maaari talagang magdulot ng structural failure. So don't be afraid or don't stop yourself from living in a condominium. An earthquake doesn't happen often and it can occur anytime anyway, much like untimely deaths, accidents, and even diseases. And when you are in your condominium unit during an earthquake, do not try to leave the building right away. Mas malaki ang chance na masaktan ka sa mga nahuhulog na gamit o debris habang sinusubukan mong lumabas. Mas delikado pa rin na nasa labas ka kasi mas maraming nahuhulog na facade materials. Kailangan makalayo ka talaga o nasa open area ka para maging safe. Pero bago ka makarating doon, baka tapos na rin ang earthquake. What you need to do instead are the following. Make sure you know your condominium's emergency evacuation plan. Identify in advance the potential hazards around your unit to minimize damage and potential danger to you and your loved ones. Have an emergency kit ready. Do drop, cover, and hold. And more importantly, I know that most of us trust the Lord when we are in danger, but I pray that whatever time God comes for us, we are prepared to face Him. I hope you learned a lot through this video. And if you did, please like it so we can reach more people who need to hear about this. If you have questions, just comment down below because I try to respond to all your comments. Matagal lang pero nagagawa ko naman. Again, I'm Ann Clemente and thank you for watching Own Property PH.